Hello everyone, this is Han Lin. My topic today is effectiveness analysis of working memory training on improving the working memory span and mathematical conclusion level of primary school students. First, the chapter 1, it is divided into 10 parts. I will introduce it next. First, the introduction. The first chapter mainly introduces the concept of working memory. Working memory plays an important role in learning and has always been the focus of physiological research. This chapter also provides an introduction to the research background on working memory span, and mathematical conclusion level. Propose the research questions and research objectives of this research and analyze in detail the positive significance of working memory training on education. Next is the research background. In previous study, not only working memory itself has received attention from different scholars. A lot of research have been done on it, and the relationship between working memory and memory has also been found, and the role of working memory in mathematics learning has been explored in different ways. I divided it in 3 parts. First, research background on working memory training. Second, research background on working memory and memory span. Third one is research background on working memory and mathematics learning. And then is the problem statement. Working memory conceptually largely limits our ability to learn, so scholars have begun to study its impact on academic performance. Results confirm that working memory was indeed the best single predictor of children's academic achievement. To be able to reduce this gap, training methods can be applied. Effectiveness from job training provides evidence for the role of individual difference as an important factor. With improved memory and improved performance in children predicting training effectiveness and greater maneuverability. Few existing studies have substantially explored the effect of working memory training on the mathematical conclusion level of working memory span, and there is also a link of research on working memory training and the long-term effect of training in primary school children. Therefore, this study can profound significance for the development of education and teaching. For the research objective, the general objective of this study was to explore the effects of unback working memory training on memory span and mathematical conclusion level in 5th grade students. The specific objective of this research are evaluate the effect of unback working memory training on the working memory span of primary school students. I called it AK1, and then evaluate the effect of unback working memory training on mathematical conclusion level of primary school students. I called it AK2. And for the research question, number 1, does unback working memory training affect working memory span of primary school students? AK1. Number 2, does unback working memory training affect mathematical conclusion level of primary school students? AK2. And then the hypothesis. First, unback working memory training has no significant effect on memory span. And next, the unback working memory training has a significant effect on the memory span. And for the next part, unback working memory training has no significant effect on mathematical conclusion level, and then back working memory training has a significant effect on the level of mathematical conclusion. Next, the research significance. Through this research, I found four significance. First, hope that the result of the research can provide feedback and guidelines to provide working memory training in primary school classrooms. Second, provide method guidance for students whose memory and mathematical conclusion ability are not enough to cope with learning. Third, the feedback from the study will provide a clear rationale for the importance of working memory training in primary education in China. Fourth, the results of the study will help to improve the curriculum and enhance the teaching and teaching materials of mathematics in primary schools to meet the needs of local teaching and school development. Also, this research has limitations. The limitations of this study are related to the study sample. Only 80 students participated in this study. And considering this small sample size, this study may not adequately support final conclusions that are directly generalizable and applicable to all students. And for the operational definitions, I explained what is working memory, what is embedded training, what is working memory span, and also what is mathematical conclusion. Next is chapter 2. In chapter 2, I divided it into 7 parts. First is introduction. The second chapter first introduced the two dependent variables of this research, also conducts a literature review of previous studies, discuss the relationship between working memory training and working memory span, and the relationship between working memory training and mathematical conclusion level, proposed the significance of this research, and established a conceptual framework and theoretical framework, provides a theoretical basis for the further development of this research. And next is working memory span and mathematical conclusion level. I divided it into 3 parts. And 2.3 is the effect of working memory training on working memory span. Found through previous research, the individual's working memory ability can be improved by training. The relationship between working memory and memory has always been a controversial issue in the field of working memory research. Further explored the brain biological mechanisms associated with working memory training, and a 2018 study by Judge found that the working memory training improves individual memory. And then the working memory training also affects the mathematical conclusion level. Studies have shown that the processing of all subcomponents of working memory is closely related to the pros and cons of mathematical performance, whether in adults or children, normal development, or children with developmental disabilities. Results confirm that working memory is indeed the best single predictor of children's academic achievements. Children with working memory deficits has below average academic performance. Then I propose the conceptual framework. This is the IV working memory training and below is 2 DV. First DV is working memory span, and the second DV is mathematical conclusion level. For the effect, I use NBAC to confirm if the IV can influence the 2 DV. And this is the theoretical framework. Okay, next is chapter 3. In chapter 3, I divided it into 8 parts. First, introduction. In this paper, 80 students in 5th grade were selected by the method of sampling according to their grades, and they were divided into 2 different groups of 40 students. After 8 weeks of training twice in a week, the training results were tested. They wanted to prove that the students who passed the working memory training and those who did not pass the working memory training. Okay, next is the research design. Here is the independent variable. Here is the 2 dependent variables. Here is the AK1 that I mentioned in chapter 1, the effect of working memory training on memory span. Here is the AK2. I also introduced it in chapter 1, the effect of working memory training on mathematical conclusion level. This paper adopts the methods of quantitative analysis, which is a research method and process that expresses problem and phenomena of quantitative form, and then analyze tests and interpret them to obtain means. And in this research, for the training time, it is 8 weeks in 2 months, 2 lessons per week, and 30 to 45 points per training session. And B, complete 18 sessions in 8 weeks. Each session involves training on working memory tasks. And C, using different indicators, memory span and conclusion level to analyze the effect of working memory training. Also the research tools used in this paper are divided into 2 parts. The experimental tools, I use NBAC, and I also use BAS is used to carry out quantitative. And next is the research sampling. First, the sampling of experimental subjects took into account of the achievement gap of the students before reducing the training, and there was no significant difference in the grades of the selected 2 groups of 40 individuals. This is a simple population with the follow numbers in this chart. And for the research tools, I used a computer program called NBAC Memory Training for working memory training. NBAC Working Memory Training is a platform. This software is not only rich in training content, but also very simple to operate, suitable for the primary school students. And then the validity and the reliability. For the validity, I use the KMO to discuss whether the validity of the skill meets the requirements. Here is the standard between different levels. And above 0.9, it can indicate that it is very good construct validity. And then the reliability reliability, I use cartographer reliability, and the data is between 0 and 1. Here is the table. If if the data is more than 0.9, and the result is very excellent. And next is the data collection. For this part, I think the whole experiment is divided into three parts: memory test, mathematical conclusion ability test, and mathematical problem solving. Half of these subjects participate in the memory training, and the other half of the subjects received the mathematical learning ability first. Then, finally, the results of the experiment were exported to Excel and imported into SPAS software. Finally is the data analysis. For this part, I use three analyze. First is the t-test. For the same transfer task, if the p-value is less than 0.001, then rejecting the null hypothesis. And then the correlation analysis. The correlation analyze working memory training and memory span, also working memory training and mathematical conclusion level in this study. And finally, the regression analysis, because to explore who can influence who, you need to continue to do regression analysis. All of them entered the regression equation with working memory training as independent variables. This is all the data analysis. Okay, that's all what I want to share in the first three chapter 1 to chapter 3. Okay, thanks for your listening. Thank you very much.